Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Clixin. I, like always, am your host Adam. So we have our tournament info video we got going on here. Now we do have 30 players, we have one spot still available, and we do still need one more player to pay, but I thought, why am I penalizing you guys? So I'm just going to come up with the video. Hopefully we'll find that other player, and hopefully the other player will play or will pay. But as you can see here, I got Roll20 up. So a couple things. First off, I do want to thank Wesley Summers for making our template for our tournament. So let me show you guys what it's going to look like. He made this great Harley Quinn template for our Roll20 site. So make sure, I'm going to be having this available in the Discord so that when you guys do start your game, you use this template. So if you don't know how to set up the template, make sure you come over to this page toolbar. You click on the gear icon and you're making it 34 by 24. That's going to make it the exact measurements for this template, which I think is for most templates anyways. But it's a great template. We got Harley Quinn here in her bombshells. We got the Sets Appeal tournament back here. It's a great template. I can't wait to use it. So thank you so much, Wesley, for making this. He is also in the tournament as well. So what sets are we going to be playing with? Well, before I get to that, let's go a little bit about over the rules. So you're going to have, both players are going to have the same set for each round. Now, anything that is in the tab of HC Realms for that set is going to be legal. So BFCs, feats, objects, anything. Some people have asked me, well, what about fast forces? If the fast forces and or gravity feed is in the actual tab set, they will be available. If they are a separate tab, they will not be available. But let's get into the sets, and then I can tell you, we can kind of talk about a little bit of what's in there and what you'll be able to use. So for round one, we are going with Web of Spider-Man, one of my favorite all-time sets. So a lot of great sets in, or a lot of great figures in this set. We got good old Nurse, you know, for 10 points, nothing wrong with a healer. We got good old Carnage, not the best back then, but he was still pretty good. We've got kind of the secret identities of the past. They call these alter egos. They weren't really that great, but some of them are pretty good. What were some of the rares in this set? We have Victor Mancha, Scorpion. Novara was a really good one. X-Ray. We got good old Nightcrawler. I'm pretty sure I'm going to see him on a lot of teams. And then, of course, we got his killer, Bullseye. I loved Bullseye when this set came out. For super rares, we got big old Groot here that turns into a Colossal, if you can get with that one. We got my favorite from this set, Deadpool, with his ridiculous regeneration. The one figure that no one is going to be able to use is good old Cosmic Spider-Man, because he is over 300 points, and we are doing 300 points for each one. So that is kind of nice, because he is kind of a broken figure. But then you got all the LEs. You got Venom, Night Nurse, Toxin, Dakin, the Burglar, the good old... If someone really wants to put frog legs on their team, it could be, because actually the map that we're going to be using for this one, because it's the only map on there, is, let me see if I can find a quick Web of Spider-Man, is going to be the bridge outdoor, and it's got some water terrain over here, water terrain on the other side, so it could be a decent one for the some figures. But and then you got the terrain markers, which isn't much anyways, but you can use it for some of them. So you got Iron Man War Machine, 300 points in the dot if you want to try that one. But a lot of good figures in the set. I'm excited to see what you guys come up with. So set 2, as I'm about to sneeze. Excuse me, there it is. So if you're lucky enough to win onto round 2, you're going to be using Superman and the Legion of Superheroes. So Slosh, as people called it back then. So we've got the Legion in here. Cosmic Boy was one of my favorites from that set. We got the Prime Mon-El. Obviously, rules still do apply with primes. You can only use one per. And somebody asked me, what about mechanics that aren't around anymore? Well, if they're not around anymore, so let's go back to this set. If someone does use a figure with a duo ability, you have to use the most current rules for duo. All right, we're back to Slosh. So we got Cheetah Prime, okay, back then. We got Block. We got Stargirl. That was always a good figure back then. The Prime Riddler was one of my favorites, too. Emerald Empress. I'm sure we're going to see a lot of him or her Bizarro. But remember, Bizarro, I believe, can only have 6 tokens on him now, no more. I thought I remember seeing somewhere only 6. I could be wrong. Yep, up to 6 tokens right here. Okay, so no putting 300 points of Bizarro on there, which would be, what is that, 12 tokens on there. So you can only have him up to 150 points. We got good old Darkseid on here. He's always a good one. We've got Black Witch as a prime. Tellus, who was pretty good back then. Now, you do have to remember some of these guys do have erratas. Make sure you are looking at that because those are in effect. We've got Persuader was a good one. Ooh, Validus, he was a good one. Mordrew. And then we got the Chases, the Servants of the Great Darkness. Calabac, Guardian, Orion, Superman. And then, so see, these are where some of the sets different from one another. Like this one had the Gravity Feed in, so this one had Cosmic Boy and Lightning Lad. So these are still available. But as you can see up here, there is a separate Fast Forces one. These are not available because they're not in that tab. So you do have quite a bit of figures in this set to use with. You do have the Mother Box, and you do have the Legion of Superheroes Flight Ring. So there is a ton in here that you can use. Signs. Oh, I remember this guy. He was good too. Okay, so that's round 2. If you get to round 3, what are you going to be using? Round 3, which would be the top 8, I believe. Round 3 is going to be using Crisis. This was probably my favorite carded set from this. So I loved Crisis. There's a ton of good stuff in here. Rip Hunter, one of my all-time favorites, just because he gave everybody pretty much Power Cosmic that's next to him. You've got Kyle Rayner in this one. Mordrew, Monarch, Trigon, another Darkseid. Super rares are pretty good. We got good old Black Adam. He's not the greatest anymore. But Sinestro, the Flash, that he's running himself to death. We got Spectre. World's Finest is not going to be an option because he's over 500 points. You do have some of the LEs. This Superman you are not going to be able to use because he is too many points, but the good old Kingdom Come Superman is going to be available. The only downside about this guy is no kind of willpower, which kind of sucks, but he does hit like a frickin' brick. So we'll see who has him. Thunder Acquired, you know, not the one that's from War of Light, but still a good one. We got all the anti-monitors here, but they are way too many points for 300 points. We do have some bystanders. We do have some BFCs, which someone did mention to me. When you're making sets with BFCs, you are only allowed to bring one BFC. So make sure you put that on your team build and not have all 5 of them on here. Okay, so let's say you wanted to play a BFC. If Skyscrapers is on your team build, that is the only one you can use. You cannot use any kind of one. We are not going to be using these event dials at all, so don't worry about those. They just kind of complicate the game. But there are a couple feat cards on here. Actually, there's quite a lot of feat cards on here. And then you do have some objects, Trap Dumpster, Mass Absorber, Open Hydrant, all that kind of stuff. So no event dials for any of this stuff. Getting back, let me go back a little bit for Legion of Superheroes. So for this set, there were a couple of maps, I believe, that I wanted to go over. Superman. Okay, so you have the Outdoor Plaza, or Legion Plaza, Apocalypse Outdoor, Hall of Doom, Slaughter Swamp. We are not using the 29 by 24 Hall of Doom Swamp, so we are not using that map because it makes it a little bit more difficult for the layout on Roll20. So all these other 16 by 24s are available, but not this 29 by 24. So sorry. Getting back to Crisis, I think that covered all the figures on this one. So for Crisis, we don't have the choice, but we are going to have to use a 24 by 24. Now Wesley is going to make a custom map for Roll20 to fit this one on the Sets Appeal layout. So if you are using this Dawn of Man, you are going to be able to use these, I think they call them time zones. So how those work is if beginning of the first player's turn, each player can take a time zone anywhere on the boundaries in the orange. So remember, you get one of these to put somewhere on this map within the orange if you decide to do so. So I would suggest getting one of these ready just in case your opponent has it, and vice versa. We also do have the Antimatter Fortress, which is 24 by 24. So those are the two maps that are going to be available. This one and the other one. Now, as for starting areas, how it's going to work is you just start opposite of the other opponent. You can't start next to them, obviously. So if you start here, other person starts here, and vice versa. Same thing for this map. If they start here, you have to start the exact opposite of them, not sideline of them. Okay, so that is round 3 that we're going to talk about. Now, if you're lucky to get to the top 4, we're going to be using the very first 5-setted booster, which is Avengers. So this set had some really good figures when it first came out. These are the first white power or special power abilities cards that came out there. So you got the Ultimates Iron Man, which is such a good figure. Taskmaster, he was garbage. Molecule Man, you know, he's really good if you can get him to click 5. Then we got figures like the Colonel. So bad. So bad. But if you need leadership, there you go. But, you know, Ares, he was a big one. 275 points. But, again, no Indom. They didn't like that back then. We got Hulk. We got Hawkeye. Cap and Bucky. The Mandarin. Any of this stuff is available. You know what? Even Stardust. She's in there. 171 points for a 19 defense. That was pretty good back then. So any of this stuff, Galactus is obviously way too much. They also do have the Judge Prize Heralds in here that you can use. And then we have a bunch of bystanders. We've got a couple of BFCs, a couple of feats, and a couple of objects. Okay, so that's going to be the the 4th round. Now, if you're lucky enough to get to the final round, I wanted to put a little twist in this tournament. So the top 2 players are going to be built up. Before I get to that, let's look at the maps for Avengers. I believe there was just one. It was the tank map. Trying to decide if I want to use rooftops. I will allow the rooftop map if anyone wants it. I will have to make it, or we'll have to use the custom 24 by 24 map that Wesley's going to make for us. But I will allow either map. So either the airbase with a tank in the middle or the 24 by 24. Again, just start opposite of one another. All right. Excuse me. But back to the final matchup. So again, the final matchup, I wanted to add a little twist on it. And if you're lucky enough to get to the final match, you are going to be using Star Trek Tactics. So this was a set that was just, I don't think a lot of people bought, but it did have some pretty good figures in it if you are a Star Trek fan. So there are, let's see here, there are, it looks like around 33 figures in this set. There is a Chase, there is, I believe this was the Fast Forces one, or a Gravity Feed, but this is the set that you're going to win. Now, these are pretty high priced figures, some of these, 150 points, 75, 50. They did have some team abilities in here. I don't think there's a lot of prob in here, but thought it'd be a fun set. I mean, this one's not bad for 100 points. Running shot, energy explosion with a 3 damage enhancement. So that is going to be the last set that we're going to use. Now, as I said before, first place, whoever wins the whole thing, you're going to be getting a plaque. You're going to be able to choose between Galactus, a brick of Absolute Carnage, or a brick of House of X, excuse me, when it comes out. If first place decides to get Galactus, second place will either choose between a brick of Carnage or House of X. If first place decides to get the brick, second place gets the Galactus. I think that's fair. Third place also is going to be get a customized thing of tokens for our Clixin logo and everything. Okay. So a lot of cool prizes are going to be out there. Now, when you're making your teams, I think the easiest way for you guys to do it would either do it like this on the realms, and then just take a screenshot of that using the snip tool. If you don't know the snip tool, it's a free download. But you just basically snip your team and then share that with me. Or you can make it in like a Google Docs and then snap that shot and send it to me. But you're going to need to make 5 different teams, 1 for each set. Web of Spider-Man, Slosh, Crisis, Avengers, and Star Trek Tactics. And then get that to me. Now, you will have until, I'll say, November 5th, the day beforehand, just to make sure I can check them and make sure everything's good to go. make sure you bring, so all the maps are going to be available. You don't have to bring just one map. So just bring all the maps that you can or want to play. That's going to be that. But BFCs, they're limited 1 per team. So if you guys have any other questions, let me know. I'm going to be streaming as many of these games as possible. I can't wait to see what you guys come up with. But I think it's just going to be a super fun tournament. Let me know if you guys have any questions. Get on my Discord. If you are not on the Discord, that's how we're going to be doing everything, from me sending you links to the layout for Roll20, everything like that, because I want you guys to be using this layout for the game. So get on Discord if you're not. If you're not on the Discord quite yet, because when I sent it to you, the link was expired, message me. I'll send you back to Discord. So, and once we have those last 2 people, I will be doing who faces who in the first round. So thanks everyone for joining this tournament. I learned a lot about running tournaments. I'll probably run it a little bit differently next year when we do the second annual one, but it's been a blast doing this. Make sure you guys are liking Clixin on Facebook and on YouTube. Head up to our Patreon at patreon.com/Clixin. It helps support the show. And listen to our podcast. Yeah, we're doing a lot of cool stuff with the Clixin channel as of late. So thank you guys for being part of this tournament. Hope you guys enjoy it. Make sure you guys are staying safe out there. And as always, keep clicking it.